This week, celebrities were delirious, but Trump got serious. The Grammys, the State of the Union address, President Trump's immigration proposal, and more today on The Rebel Buzz. Let's start with the light topic for this week. And by light topic, I mean it had no impact on the lives of practically anyone. So this week's Grammys served as the latest platform for Hollywood pontifications. Remember that rundown that I gave you guys last week of the typical Oscars programming? Well, it was pretty much the same at the Grammys, but trashier. Yay! Oh, and Cher, honey, a little tip. You can't wear that anymore. I don't even really know what you were wearing, but unless it's a tarp and there's a tag on your toe, you're probably not dressed appropriately. So aside from the heinous wardrobe choices, the show turned political almost immediately with celebrities like host James Corden, Paris Jackson, she's the weird little daughter of Michael Jackson, and Jennifer Lopez denigrating the current state of affairs in this country, and of course, President Trump. In her speech, Jennifer Lopez said, "At this particular point in history, our voices are needed more than ever. This is precisely the time when artists go to work." Oh, really? That's super rich coming from Jenny from the block, who's overpaid for what many would consider a very cushy dream job. And just a little Hollywood side note, a dear friend of mine is one of her reps, and she's a royal pain in the bootylicious backside. So of course the icing on the Grammys cake was when Hillary Clinton read an excerpt from Michael Wolff's salacious work of fiction, Fire and Fury. Now the saddest part of all of this is that Mrs. Clinton still thinks that she's relevant, and to be fair, in Hollywood, ostensibly she is. But to the rest of America, she's a bad joke with an even worse punchline. It's pitiful, albeit fully deserved, for a woman who has lied, cheated, and stolen her way through life as a public servant. Now I'd provide you with a list of the Grammy winners, but there's Google for that. Possibly one of the best moments this week came during President Trump's State of the Union address. Now, I think it was one of the best speeches of my lifetime, and personally, I believe that if you're a conservative never-Trumper or a part of the left's resist movement, even so, if you heard that speech and didn't believe in what President Trump is trying to achieve for this country, you probably just hate America. I can really come to no other conclusion. He spoke of unity, equal opportunity, and prosperity, of a new tide of optimism sweeping across the land. He talked about making America great again for all Americans. Our president commended heroes of the Las Vegas massacre, the Cajun Navy in Houston, and the firefighters in California. Yet, when he proposed to set aside differences to seek out common ground with Democrats, Chuck Schumer scowled and Nancy Pelosi squirmed like her chamber seat was a fire ant bed. When discussing unemployment numbers declining specifically among the Black and Hispanic communities, Democrats frowned and refrained from clapping because Trump did it. Not them, not their poster boy Barack Obama, and not their geriatric queen of failure, Hillary. Trump covered many topics during his nearly hour-and-a-half long speech, which was interrupted over 100 times by standing applause. He discussed the influx of new jobs and companies moving or returning to manufacturing on American soil. He talked about judicial appointments, veteran reform, regulation rollback, the opioid crisis, and immigration. Now, the latter part of his speech covered our military and the new rules of engagement, which no longer undermine our military with artificial timelines. And taking a beautiful little dig at the previous administration, Trump said that we will no longer tell our enemies our plans. Glorious. So after touting a few more promises kept, including recognizing Jerusalem as the undivided capital of Israel and keeping detention facilities open at Guantanamo Bay, Trump closed with, "As long as we have our confidence in our values, faith in our citizens, and trust in our God, we will never fail. Our families will thrive, our people will prosper, and our nation will forever be safe and strong and proud and mighty and free." So cheers of USA, USA, USA reverberated throughout the chamber as Democrats like Luis Gutierrez stormed out. He's clearly not on the Trump train, but who cares, because America's back. Which brings me back to President Trump's plans for Daca. All right, let's be real. Democrats would likely boot the entire Daca population from our country if Democrats couldn't be guaranteed that they would get their votes. Democrats don't care about the Daca population's well-being. If they did, they would applaud Trump's plans. Yet when President Trump spoke during his State of the Union address about the 4 pillars of his immigration proposal, Democrats booed. Yes, like drunk football fans, like petulant children, they booed. Trump's first pillar maps out a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants who are brought here as minors by their parents. Now, they would have to meet education and work requirements and show good moral character, but over a 12-year plan, meeting those requirements, they would be eligible for citizenship. So there you go, Democrats. But in return, pillars 2, 3, and 4 require a fully secure border, ending catch and release practices, ending the visa lottery program, and ending chain migration. Seems reasonable, right? Nope. Liberals will fight it with their wilting little clenched fists every step of the way because, I mean, it won't deliver them enough votes in the end. So let's remember that 5 years ago under Barack Obama, the entire Democratic caucus voted to build 700 miles of fencing along our southern border. Now, all in all, Americans were overwhelmingly pleased with the president's first State of the Union address. President Trump said he was reaching across the aisle to Democrats to overcome some major challenges and enact historical legislation. So I'm hopeful that the Democrats will join him and other Republicans, but I'm skeptical because my mama didn't raise no fool. But let's pray that it happens. I'm Amanda Head for The Rebel. If you enjoyed my commentary and want to hear more from me and my pals here at The Rebel, make sure you are subscribing to our premium content at www.therebel.media/shows, and make sure you're following us on Facebook and Twitter for all the latest news. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Amanda Head for The Rebel.